I was National Coordinator, convener of Tinubu 2023 Presidential Ambition. I have changed of businesses. I've been in politics since 1998, where we usher in a.k.a. Tinubu. I was the youth leader of BATCO, when I met Tinubu campaign organization. When he came to Nigeria to come and campaign, contest for Senate, it was us, the youth, that I give a promise that actually said, you are bigger than Senate this time around, you must go for government. Though as at that time, he has given support to a candidate in Justice Forum, as at that time. If I even finance such person, and he wanted to go to Senate. But because AT has predominantly known, we don't always do primary. So we write this call for people during the time of primary. So it was only 8 local government they cannot agree on who to write and what figure to give every aspirants at that time that actually conducted the primary. So when the results were announced, Hon Williams won, we the youth, championed by myself, Subar from Surulere, that said no, election was not held, and he has to run to Baba Adesanya. Okay? So, because even in the list we wrote down, Tinubu did not have thought. It's Wahab Dosunu that followed Hon Williams. You all remember that. Because it was Wahab Dosunu that Tinubu supported during the Justice Forum era. Our Williams even senior Tinubu on the list. So we fought assiduously, and he brought in another returning officer who eventually went to count only 8 local government out of 20. So Tinubu winning the primary was based on 8 local government as at that time, and it was announced as the flag bearer of the party. Actually, the means we justify the end. There are procedures, especially when people who call you out, because we are the only pioneer members who went through the north and risk our life to popularize it. And why did I do that? We find out that President Muhammad Buhari being the Fulani will not easily rest power, especially with the cabals. So unless you bring in a capable member, as Yoruba used to say, in Iloman Lori, iron bent iron. If you take any low-thinking candidates, they won't be able to wrest power to South under APC. So that was predominantly because we believe in power rotation. So when we brought in Tinubu, Tinubu was able to fix in the capacity of person that can face APC and rest power to the South for power rotation for the unity of this country. Because we believe in the unity of this country. And after we have done our work, and the whole world have seen that we achieved that aim 100% by Tinubu coming out to contest election, riding on our crest of popularity. Because as at that time, even the incumbent rep, Hon Mutiu called me one time that the Tinubu ever told you that he's going to contest for election, that I should not come from PDP and come and scatter APC, that he has made Osinbajo the VP and the VP will be the next president. Even that the name that I use, non-negotiable, is very irritating. Nobody would have even looked at that. I said it's okay. And that's why I did not mobilize people from Ikeja. I mobilized out of Ikeja and the whole north. Because they give me that resistance for ambition. So when everything is done deal and you see the popularity, because Tinubu had never been a minister, and it would be very difficult at the time he came out to contest election to face Osinbajo. Nobody will have bought that. So I made it, it's like an advertisement in any product you are selling. I made it sensible to people. I've told them that Tinubu is not a kingmaker. He only step aside for the turn of the Yoruba, because in politics there's nothing like kingmaker. People are calling him kingmaker. So we have made it very difficult for him to come out. And when he came out, he rested on that the northerners, where I have gone to mobilize, call him out, not even the southerner. So that made it very good, and we thank God for that. But there are some processes that we embark on. Because at that time that he has come out, it is our onions for him to show the leadership. I cannot be campaigning with my money resources again. Because my own aim is for him to come out. And so power can rotate. So once he has come out, we are watching. And after winning the primary of the party, he first of all made a very serious mistakes of nominating Shettima as his running mate. Because we really would have loved, if you are going to take a Muslim, you should take a modest Muslim, which is Zulu, and based on capacity. But how it come about, Shettima that has never been part of the arrangement was very, very shocking to most of the members. And we had expected too, that apart from going with these Babariga people who did not believe in you, but they believe in how to collect your money, you are now supposed to have consulted all support groups, especially my own movement that have the spread across the nation. But because of Kaba around Asiwaju, who did not want him to do the right thing, maybe probably they want to collect his money for election like they do for Peter Odili and the likes of Southern president, because it is in the history. Anytime the South is going to produce a president, they will always stop the Northerner from coming out. And that was what happened with Obasanjo. Because if somebody else had come out in the North against Obasanjo, it will be a different story now. So we try to reach Asiwaju, we lobby, we happy, we do so many things to meet with him. We are being blocked. So it is so sad that we have not been in power. We have generated so much cabal and fear in the hands of people. So when you look at most of those antecedents, I found out that, oh, I wouldn't want to sell things that Nigeria will be sorry about and will smile my own integrity and my future political career. And secondly, as at that time, nobody would have thought of any new political party that will have a spread of acceptability within 5 months of coming up. Peter Obi joined Labour Party, which we had expected, because we don't expect Asiwaju even to contest under APC. We expect him to contest under another party and use his popularity and use his campaign in changing Nigeria, because you couldn't contest under APC where all the people that are ruling us now have come with different opinion, and that's why we are not support group, we are interest group. We set up our movement, registered NRUF, and when it was being refused, we set up another proposed movement, ARPM, which is All Referendum People Movement, thinking that we can form a political party for him to come and contest from, and that was the aim. So when Asiwaju himself now had the opportunity to contest under APC, which he ought not to, especially if you want to feed him Muslim ticket, that can only happen in a new developed party. It can't be an existing party that will be so insensitive to the plight of Nigeria. That was not my own aim. And I have no reason, I cannot reach him. And we have mobilized the whole world towards his ambition. And things are going and collapsing in our present. So if he had gone to another new party, he could feed a Muslim. Nigeria will be sympathetic. And they will know that it's not taken from President Muhammadu Buhari or all this killing and what have you. But once you are going under a ruling party where you have all the machinery to win the election, you cannot be insensitive to Nigeria. He's the only one that can even start by uniting Nigeria by picking Christian as his running mate because of the weight of the party, and he will still win the election. The DG now, Lalon, is a governor in Plateau. He's old enough to be the running mate. Then you can use Shettima for your DG, so that Nigeria will know that yes, you're trying to correct the mistake of the past. So all that created crisis within my movement. We tried to reach out, we couldn't, until Peter Obi came out. Peter Obi came out, posting every social media that he has not stolen coin in Anambra. Nobody challenged him. EFCC has not come to him. And why will I not see that caliber? And let me tell you the open truth. Peter Obi can never be as worse as President Muhammadu Buhari if given opportunity. So if we can tolerate President Muhammadu Buhari, we will tolerate Peter Obi to make sure Nigeria is united. Because once Igbo has tasted presidency, there is fear of Nigeria breaking up. We don't come up again. So the fairness in politics, the reason for a new person that has come and has grown tremendously, I'm telling you, will not be overlooked by Nigeria. More so when Nigeria indices are even getting worse every day. We start hearing from the same ruling party that are 70-something trillion stamp duty that was hanging in individual pockets in the bank. We see fuel now queue everywhere, and the president says he's going to go ahead in Burundi instead of us. People keep on saying it's not only Nigeria that is being divided by this energy crisis, but it's only Nigeria that produces fuel. And once you produce fuel, you shouldn't be suffering like those people that does not produce. So they should find something else to tell us. As at this time, the election is coming in, we expect things to go down. But rice is increasing, border is still yet closed. The lecturer that you negotiated are still going back on strike. And while you are boasting that your children are graduating from abroad. So even if you're giving me money to sell my conscience, how much will you give to me with the present situation of the country? So I have now seen better to now top everything up. After paying 15 million to withdraw from tribunal against Falike, I collected money. I paid 10 million naira to party to contest the election. Then ABC and Asiwaju tell all of us to step down for a fourth term person in Ikeja. And you are going for a president. Such a person can take a minister, which is far better than rep. He can be your chief of staff, he can be an ambassador. So why must he go? And it's not that he's going to rep from the northern region, where we say he wants to become a speaker. He's still going from Ikeja, where means he's going to be a one-bencher. Then he must have had evil that he wants to do in the National Assembly in the 2023 for you to have said he wants to. And our aim was Asiwaju to contest and win the election with the new set of Nigeria, so that they can have hope of handing over to the new generation. But if you look at what APC did, 95% of the elected officers both in the state and the national are being returned. Then why are we contesting? Why are we doing election? Who could tell Nigeria that they should not do election again, so that we can be returning the same person into office? Why are we wasting money? So we can't be continuously to be deceived. And that is the reason I belong to the generation of Nigeria who want better tomorrow, who want to contest and serve and show people how service to the nation could be, because I've been doing it with my pockets. So if going to government will be so easy for me. So a lot of people ask me what have changed. Those are the things that have changed by denying me. And not only that, now after they deny me the ticket, they beg me to stay and continue working, which I'm working. Faleke, because he's the dictator, they cannot allow any opposition or any diversity in the nation, because diversity is the mother of invention. He went ahead to facilitate the cancellation of my contract with Federal Airport Authority, which was the worst of. When I was in opposition, they couldn't, because I would have protested. Now I run to everybody begging them for almost 1 month that this is what I'm facing. People are now making jest of me. Say, no, be you go meet them. No, be you go meet them. It's at that point I look at them, and I had been sponsored in labor, which I've been thinking that, okay, let me go leave them, because when they told me to step down, I've been sponsored in labor and I've won their primary and do all the next needful. So, but I wanted to say, okay, let me step down there until they collect my contract. Maybe they thought that I've stepped down there. So they collected my contract, we have not entered. Why can't they wait until where we wait? So I'm a very big victim of misrule that we are about to experience if they are given the opportunity. They cannot tolerate. And they were telling me they can't bite a finger, they cannot feed their enemy. I was asking them, this job I've been doing since 2006, when PDP is government. This is federal government. So Nigeria doesn't belong to anybody. Nigeria wasn't in war when you all people want Jonathan, that Nigeria come and beg you from America, come and save us. No, you wrestle power and you lie to us. So don't feel like Nigeria is your home. Some of us will take the risk, even if we don't win, like they are thinking. If Nigeria could be so mad because Pastor Yedepo have said by 2023, February 25, we know the numbers of mad people that are existent in Nigeria. So we can build psychiatric hospital and know which location to put it. So even if we don't win, we won't pass and hide for doing the right thing for the nation. But how we will relocate like others. There are a lot of brain drain now that is going. We just want to convert it to brain gain for Nigeria. We all witness what happened in the last election. It's not that I come out against Falike because we don't have any issue. I've been winning him since 2015. I was the candidate of PDP in 2015. The same thing in 2019. In 2019, I've won 7 wards. There are 3 wards that are not collated in the ward. They not tell us the time is going. We can take it to the EJ Collation Center. And our collation center is GRA Primary School. But we find out that they went to local government and secured them with anti-bomb police officers. And they were now changing all the results that I have won. And my returning officer were calling me, and I was developing blood pressure. And I say, how can people vote for me? I will not defend their mandate. I'm not seen as a coward. So I did not take any talk or any people along with me. I went there to ask them a question. Why are you changing 7 words that I've already won, all because we want to collate? I now saw them in exchange of financial, cooking food in that place, so everybody, and they send all the PDP packet. So I now have to challenge them. Well, when they see that they won't be able to announce their fake result, the next thing is somebody hits me. They call him Black Badger. He hits me with something on my back. I fainted. I was hospitalized so that they can count. And I was detained for complete 2 months in Force Headquarters in Abuja. So that was what happened in 2009 because I'm contesting in the wrong party. Because how do they beat your candidate? Where is your returning officer? Where are the members that are in the floor of the house? Nothing happened to them. So this is a party that say they want to change Nigeria. They cannot defend the mandate of the people. So now, having submit myself to them, because I believe it's a power rotation syndrome, and it's not limited to Yoruba, because Yoruba was president at the beginning of this democratization, but there was no capable hand that I see at that time I started. But I achieved my aim by power rotation, that APC have rotated power, and we now see somebody who has that credibility in Southeast. And the worst that can happen is that they can say people, Igbo is fighting, because they have suffered for so much time. We talk to them, they have owned in Nigeria, they want to be the president too, they cannot do Biafra. Somebody who is looking for Biafra, they gave the whole Nigeria to you. So they can't be as worse as the present thing we have experienced, because these people are entrepreneurs and they have not stolen in office. So when you don't steal in office, like they are claiming China, that was why China, so all the development will come with individual brain and people. So Peter Obi, and he's a listener too, he's not draconian. So even if he save our money, people will brain without come and use the money to develop the nation. Because if we take a think tank to, so issue of somebody is better than, and what age go? Everybody is vegetative. Me too, I forget things along. So we can't compare Tinubu of 2001, 2002 with Tinubu of 2023. Only we are fooling ourselves, and we will see what is happening at every outing. So my own year now is, I had the opportunity after Faleke has done what he has done to me. That's because politics is all about reward system. My campaigning for Asiwaju is to reward him of good thing he has done. So if those people cannot reward me, okay, by giving me ticket, and they still not go ahead and take my livelihood, I will be so stupid. And it will have been my long throat that I don't love Nigeria to have stayed back in such people. And that's why it's not because I have my 55,000 votes already, because I won the last election. But because of collation center, I was beaten to stupor, and they are able to read me. So the 55,000 people are not dead, and they are only confused of what to do. So that vote is already intact. So I'm just going to add more to it. So by coming out, it is God's decision, and it's miraculous how all what they have done, because they will have cheated me and will have gone away with it. And that's why I want the Nigerian to know that I did my own part, and my own allegiance is not to individual, it's to the country that we are living for our children. The first thing I'm going to do when I win election is to get constituency office in the 10 wards of Ikeja. Every ward must have a 3-bedroom fitting place as our constituency office in the whole Ikeja. And we employ 15 people in each of the ward for direct labor. Because I'm an environmentalist, I will provide a compactor for them to first of all pick the garbages in the community at a very cheap rate for their community, and use the money to empower themselves. I will get all the artisans like Taylor, who will eventually sew the school uniform of all primary school. I will fund it. I will do all necessary to repair the road by using bricklayer and all people in my area, because they have an office. What do you have an office for? Is to embark on the community service and to start my idea, which I'm going to sponsor in the National Assembly, which is 4-tier of government, which is Community Development Association, where we have a budgetary allocation, and any contract that is approved will be embarked by them. And you cannot win a contract of your front door and embezzle the money. So we need that for tier of government. Why we get to that? So once I've done that, I will employ people directly to save them from the present predicament, because Nigeria needs a healing process. So after I do that, I'm an agriculturalist. I have farms everywhere. I will supply farm produce of 16 labels, which is Gari, Ibubo, Ewa, all kinds of things to that constituency, and will be given to my people every month when it's certified that you are a member of the world and you work for the progress of your community. These are what I'm going to do. There are some youths that are vulnerable. How are they find themselves being vulnerable? Maybe a father who had a dream that my child is going to be a doctor, and he has worked hard, but untimely death take him away. It happened, and those are the people that turn to talk. So immediately the father died, the family pursued the children and the mother away, and they start changing their destiny. When I get office, I'm going to employ 12 lawyers who are going to be sponsoring my bills, because I have so many bills that I can not even be able to enumerate unless you have the time that I want to sponsor. The same lawyer will take those cases and execute it and get them their property back. But before getting their property, I will have given them a bedroom flat to be living until the case is determined. So while the children are going back to school, so that we will reduce the talk that is on the street, including people in my constituency that are being cheated or have one situation or the other, maybe untimely, maybe they have an accident and so many things. So it's going to be a welfare. To be specific, this my hotel is going to be dedicated for such welfare program, where people who need a short stay to sort their problem will be using, and people will be fed and be taken. I will provide scholarship, and I will provide a permanent remedial classes for GCE and the WAEC and JAMB in my constituency, so that I can increase the level of education of the people. Because when people are more informed, they be a better people in the society. Not only that, I will now take members of every ward to my agricultural resettlement. If you get to my agricultural resettlement, you see hostel there. People are working assiduously producing commodity, and people will work for 1 month or two, take a break of 2 weeks and go back again, which means there is an offshore and onshore they do in oil company. So I created an oil company in Nigeria in agricultural resettlement program, which will be for each ward. My aim is to first of all have them in the region, then because I have a bigger plan for Nigeria, 6 regions, then we have it in each state. And if you can have 500 acres in each state, you know you feed the nation, and most of the problem will be far for everybody. The youth will be given a lot of jobs, because our youth are becoming footballer and watching football every day instead of them to attending to the. This is Africa. We should leave football to the Europeans who are now in comfort. When you sit down, you eat popcorn, you enjoy yourself, there are some people entertaining you. Do you have the money to pay? The jersey is for them, and we don't have leaders that have to reorientate. Did China watch football before they become greatness? So all kinds of comfort is what we know to know. People will buy jersey of 200,000 under NNK, Ati Asun, Ati Shisha. That is comfort. We still don't need it now until we too have reached a developed nation. So I will reorientate my youth from being football watcher or nuisance, because there is no match that is won that they accrue into our own pocket here. We continue spending. That is one of another things that is eating us, that is destroying the nation. So we need to improve our knowledge and what Nigeria should do. And let me tell you again, there are a lot of bills that I want to sponsor. First of its kind is the unity of this country through using political activation by sponsoring a bill that will give all presidential candidates 5 single years per region. Every region will produce a president for 1 single term in that region. If the president dies, we will have 6 vice presidents in every 6 regions who will take over immediately, because it's going to be between north and south. So the issue of having vice president will not come in. We will have deputy president who come from another zone. So if president comes from north, deputy will come from the south. then the 6th vice president will be per region. So if the president is being impeached or he died, the vice president in that region complete their term. So if you like waste the time of your region, in 30 years time, how Nigeria will have tasted power. The issue of breaking away will not come. These are things that can unite Nigeria and you develop Nigeria into region. Having regional police, regional railing system, regional transportation, regional education, it will now become competitive. Even banking system should be regional. We should have only central treasury, where Southern can borrow the northern money when they waste their money. All this issue of central bank where all Nigeria will be empty at the same time. I will now go to Germany to go and buy. Go to United Arab Emirates. When Abu Dhabi was, when Dubai was bankrupt, it's Abu Dhabi that borrowed their money. It's a region in UAE. So why can't we practice that? So the central bank will be regional. Treasury, that is what is happening in America. America has treasury, you have banks in each state. So that's what I'm going to do. So everybody will keep the effort of their forefather within their banking system. Not that one criminal that is made the president will just go and empty all our purse and continue borrowing. We won't need to borrow. If you need to borrow, first of all, exploit other regions if they can borrow you money. Since you are there, we need NAPA. You don't know. And that is the thing. And things will be different for all of us. Security will be better for all of us. Because we cannot trust most of these governors too, they are not mature. But when you have a vice president in the region, and that is legislative to manage the region, so he's going to control the police and custom, even clearing goods at equal rates is not right. So people will open their border in the north and be bringing cheap rice. Some will be closed south. Let every region control the border. So the custom too will be regionalized. So that if you are bringing anything from another region, you can pay. But when you are on a railroad in the region, you know that you are eastern line. If you are in the west, you are in western line. And all the money accruing to the region, we have the vice president that we have a common project so that the governor cannot come and carry allocation of that state and go and start it in America. Because these Americans, the colonial master, encourage our leaders to be stealing our money. Because what they know, where there is no development, is to be stealing money. And that's why they don't die in office. The feel of alert can give anybody life. Every man they get billion, they won't want to die. And what they do with the billion is to stack it abroad by looking for cheap projects that will not be audited to do for us. But if it is regional money they release to them, the money will go into the regional development and it will become competitive. Both Eastern Rail, Western Rail, once you leave Eastern Rail, they will announce in the train that you are living Eastern Rail now, you're now in Western Rail, this is the route, you'll be happy. And we'll have a ring road throughout Nigeria, where the road will pass through all the Nigerian circle before we now have inner rail. So that ring road, you can travel from Lagos to Akwa Ibom to wherever, to run Nigerian map, and it is very cheaper. Because that will be consistently moving. Then you have inner rail that will pick you at every location you come to Abuja, which is center. The network are there. Nigeria have been blessed with development. But when we get there, we know how to get to cross the road. But presently, I'm doing it even without being in office. But I will say maybe because I'm seeking office. So I wouldn't want to say that. But because in as much I've not won, I'm continue seeking. So my empowerment still goes if I lose. But it will be far better if I win. Not even limited to Ikeja. Because presently I have my farm and they are proceeding there. Sometimes I show it on the online for anybody that's online, seeing people I've employed, I'm an employer of labor. But rather than for me to run out of Nigeria, but if my life is being threatened, I might have option to take some break for Nigeria to see them. Because when Buhari promised us that 1 naira will have been $1 today, if he has not been president, everybody will be questioning that if Buhari had been president, Nigeria would have been a better. So it doesn't take long for a bad government to show who they are. So that's for sure my philanthropist activities is born from my father, and I've replicated it through copying MKO Abiola by bearing the living MKO. And people don't know what that name is about. Philanthropists. I know how many people, if you look at my bank account, you will see transfer as if say, I'm a bank waiting. These people, I can't have thousands in my pocket and see people that is suffering and I will not help them. What is the money all about? It's ordinary paper. Because if tomorrow they kill me, my family too will be fighting that so you have 10 million in your account and we are hungry. Instead of them praying for me, they will be cursing me. Because I have not trained them to handle with the money. So I can't keep money in my account. It's not in my own core. I rather use it to invest, to employ more. As you see me now, before the cancellation of my contract, I'm employing and paying every month, despite the work of art country that we are, for 320 people every month. I can show you the pay slip. And everybody got their money. Not only money, allowance too. In waste management, I'm the highest company that pay wages, because our driver got 90,000 naira as a salary. My evacuator get 50,000 naira. Go and ask anybody. We are the only one that pay. Despite the cancellation, we still have our farm to fall on, and we have the property and other things we manage as a business. Because I'm into construction. I build houses, I build schools, I build hotels, and what have you. So for a wet creator, you cannot strip in. Because even if I leave Nigeria, I go to Ghana and Togo, it might take time, it will still be made. Because making it is all about your thinking. Seeing success everywhere we go. You won't believe it. The time I was campaigning for Ashiwaju into the north, my eyes was opening to seeing gold everywhere in the north. Not as gold everywhere, not in terms of material gold. If you look at their land is so wide. Instead of you pumping oil from Akwa Ibom, you do what David did. You pump water to the north. North will be vegetation all through. And because it's a regulated environment, the produce will be so bountiful. Unlike here, where rain will not let us rest. You plant corn like this, rain don't go, and corn weed, everybody go to fight. But in North, you can only control your plantation, which is an advantage for all of us. And that's what I see in the North, with host of other things that I see that I don't want to mention here. Anywhere I go, I see gold. We just need government to assist us, to give people capacity to live better in this country. The potentials are there.